This is my new rig. This is my new truck camper. It is a 1994 Shadow Cruiser, which means it's 30 years old. So I would call her vintage. But anyway, it is freezing outside, so let's go inside. I feel like I also need to add that they don't even make the Shadow Cruisers anymore. And this was one of two within 500-mile radius of me that is actually for sale right now. And it was in the best shape of any that I've seen across the country. So I'd say this little vintage baby is quite a special little gem for me. I'm not plugged into shore power right now and I have lights, and that is because the previous owner put 200 watts of solar on the roof with a small little inverter system. Anyway, let me just show you around and give you a quick little tour, and then I will tell you what my plans are for upgrades and plans for the future. So when you first walk in, this is a very large closet that will be great for things like a broom and hanging storage. Right next to it is a little fridge, and it runs off of electricity and propane. It's actually on right now, running off propane. Below is just a little bit more storage, and then this is the bathroom. The funny thing about this bathroom is I have been stalking this camper on the internet for like the last 3 weeks. I've talked to the guy a lot. I've just stared at the pictures a lot and just kind of did a lot of comparing to other campers, and I also just really like tried to imagine what I would do with this space. Before I get ahead of myself, I'll get to that later, but I just want to say when I saw this bathroom in person, I laughed because it was a very petite version of what I was expecting, but nonetheless, I have a toilet and a shower. So moving on from the bathroom, full-length mirror, lots of kitchen drawer space. Pull out, so this is where the heater comes out, and then the oven. Apparently it works. I have not tried it yet. Due to anything with fire in my recent past, it just makes me nervous to mess with any old appliances. In the future, I'll find out if this works or not. Typical RV sink. This is the dinette situation. It is a U shape, and the bed of my truck is in here. But I really wanted something like this shape instead of a regular dinette, just because it's just me in here, and this makes more sense for me and the dogs to lounge. These are all storage. Queen size bed. Storage over, that's the inverter. Storage over here. Storage over there. And more hanging storage. Storage. There's a lot of hidden little storage places like this. One right there, down here. So far I'm finding that this little camper has more storage than I created in my bus as far as cabinetry and whatnot. So I'm really excited about that. But let's talk about why I chose this camper. I chose this camper because, for one, because if it's an 8-foot bed like my truck, it is well below the payload that my truck can handle. I really enjoyed the layout. That was a major thing when I was comparing campers. And from what I am finding so far, the previous owner took really good care of this. He even put a floor in, put the solar. But with that, let's just get into the things I want to fix. I know that this floor is like new and it is very pretty. It's just not my taste, and it doesn't go with the colors that I'm going to be painting these cabinets. So I plan on painting the cabinets, painting the walls, painting everything, redoing the floor. I'm also going to be reupholstering these 1990s cushions. The cushions are actually in good shape. And turquoise is one of my favorite colors, but it is not going to stay that color. I'm thinking I'll probably do the faux leather like I did in the bus, and that's going to look really pretty with the colors I plan on using and the floor I plan on using. The stove is something I'll wait to see if it works. I'm pretty sure it works. I'd love to get a new one just for a sense of safety, or I guess more mentally, just to feel better, but we'll see how this works. Let's talk about this flippin' kitchen sink. It is in great shape, but I don't care. I really hate it. It's so shallow. It's only 5 inches deep. It's just so big, and I don't like the double. And then two, this faucet, there's like no clearance. I just think it's going to be really, really challenging to wash dishes in here. So as I was dreaming about what I was going to do to this camper before I even went and looked at it, the sink was the main thing that I was focusing on and researching and figuring out what I wanted. But I ran into an obstacle, and that obstacle is below there's a water heater. Yeah, I actually have hot water. The bus did not have any hot water ever. So I'm excited about hot water, but the hot water heater is pretty much right below here. And I only have an inch to play with. And I did my research, and I cannot find a sink that is at least 6 inches and this long, which is 25 inches. So pretty much I don't know what to do about the sink as far as replacing it, because if I replace the sink, I have to replace the whole counter, and that is something that is doable. But right now I just want to get back on the road and just do an extreme budget build. So this is what I'm thinking. If the oven doesn't work, then I will replace the oven, the sink, and the counter. But if the oven works, I will put off replacing the counter and the sink until the future. If you have any ideas of what I can do, let me know. But I'm just saying, when I looked under here, there's only an inch clearance that I have, unless I completely move the sink, which means completely moving the countertop. Part of me loves this 1990s countertop. It is pink. Normally I hate this kind of old RV counter, but there's just something about it that I'm here for. Like I mentioned previously, this will not be blue. This is going to be probably faux leather. So this table works really well, and it matches the countertop. But I am used to being able to swivel my table around like I had in the bus with the Lagoon mount, so I may replace it with a Lagoon mount, but that's not high on my priority list, so we'll see if I get to that. So this bed is brand new. It's only been used once, and there's a cover on it, and it is pretty comfy. So I think I'll keep it and just put my own stuff on it just to even protect it more. The only downfall is, I mean, it's a queen size bed, so I'm really excited about that. But it's 8 inches, which is okay. But I was wanting to go for 4 or 6 inches. So I'm at least just going to try it out and see how I like it. Because no matter what, I don't have a lot of space up here, and I can't even get close to staying in bed. So the extra 2 inches of buying my own mattress isn't going to help a lot. So this is the situation. And a lot of truck bed campers do have more space, but because of the way mine was designed, I don't have a whole lot. As far as electrical and my solar setup, this is part of the solar, and it tells me how much solar it's bringing in. It's hooked to the battery. The battery is really small, so ideally I'd love to have 200 watts more solar up there, and I'd like to have a bigger battery. Right now it does work the way it is, but for how much I boondock, it probably isn't going to work for very long. So I'm contemplating using a power bank for now or something. I'll have to kind of see, and that's something I can always do down the road. Another reason why I really liked this camper is because the nose of it isn't like the average camper. It doesn't have the rounded edge in the front of the nose isn't rounded. It is kind of square, like it's kind of pointy, but it's fiberglass, and so there's no seams. So that helps with leak points. So like I explained to you a little bit previously, I would love to go deep dive gung-ho into this camper and change things like the countertop and just make it really like very, very my own. But I would rather save that extra money and use that to help me get back on the road. So I can either spend $100 or more on a new countertop, or that can be almost a full tank of diesel for me to get somewhere else. So I'm trying to reel myself back in with all of my creative thoughts with this place. And I think my plan right now is to mostly just invest in paint, new flooring, because the floor is so small I can't not. So paint, new flooring, and a little odds and ends, and really just making sure it has good structure and everything is like resealed and whatnot, so we can get back on the road, back to just doing what I love and what I'm excited for. So with that said, I will document what I do with this place, how I change it, how I make it my own on a budget. And if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. And if you have any ideas or thoughts of what I should do to this place, please leave comments below so you can help spark my mind. I'm really excited to see how this place changes.